There are moments in life when silence is wisdom, when holding your tongue is emotional control, when staying calm in the middle of chaos is your greatest strength. But there are also moments when silence is not peace. It is weakness. It is cowardice, wearing the mask of acceptance. Stoicism teaches us the virtue of restraint, but it also gives us a warning. Silence can become a silent killer, killing your integrity, killing your values, and slowly killing the peace inside your own soul. We live in a loud world where everyone is fighting to speak, to shout, to be heard. But today, we're not talking about being louder. We're talking about speaking at the right moment. Today, we're going to talk about 7 situations where a true Stoic must never stay silent. 7 moments where your voice, guided by reason and by courage, becomes your most powerful weapon. Listen carefully, because each of these moments is more than just advice. It is a test of your character, your boundaries, and your ability to live by virtue, not by fear. Situation 1. When you witness injustice. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What's bad for the hive cannot be good for the bee." So ask yourself, what is silence in the face of injustice? It is not the wisdom of a sage. It is betrayal of the hive. When someone around you is being mistreated, belittled, or exploited, and you choose to say nothing, you become part of the act. You trade your principles for a few minutes of personal comfort, and that is a terrible bargain. Stoicism is not passive acceptance of fate. It is rational action. It is using your ability to discern right from wrong, and intervening where your influence can make a difference. Because the consequence of silence in this moment is cowardice. Silence in the face of injustice never creates peace. It creates a vacuum, a space where wrongdoing is allowed to grow. You send a message, "Everything is fine as long as it doesn't happen to me." That is selfishness, and it stands in complete opposition to Stoic virtue. But here's the truth. You don't need to shout. You don't need to start a fight. You simply need to stand firm. A calm, rational voice exposing what is wrong is more powerful than 1,000 angry words. A Stoic stands with what is right, even when it's unpopular, even when it carries risk. Because justice is not about comfort, it is about courage. Situation 2. When your boundaries are violated. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions, but it never asks us to erase our dignity. Your personal boundaries are the fortress walls protecting the inner citadel of your mind. So when someone repeatedly disrespects you, manipulates you, or pushes past your limits, and you choose to stay silent, you're sending an invitation. You're saying, "Go ahead, I accept this lowering of my worth." Epictetus reminds us, you decide the value of your own opinion. Silence here gives power to the one crossing the line. If you don't speak, you allow someone else to decide your value for you. And the consequence of silence in this moment is submission. You are not here to please everyone. You are here to live by reason. And reason tells you that self-respect is the foundation of every virtue. So speak up, not with rage, but with clarity. This is unacceptable. This is where my line is. Remember, boundaries protect your peace, not your pride. And a Stoic silence must never be mistaken for surrender. You've now faced the first 2 tests, injustice and boundaries. If you're still here, you may feel a bit uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is where character is forged. Most people choose the easier road, the road of golden silence, when what they needed was the cold steel of truth. Ask yourself, have you ever allowed 5 minutes of comfort to destroy years of integrity? Don't let that happen again. We still have 5 more situations, 5 final thresholds separating the Stoic who merely knows the philosophy from the Stoic who lives it. Situation 3. When you see lies or falsehood spreading, truth is sacred in Stoicism. Seneca said, "Truth never dies." But when lies begin to spread, and you choose silence, those lies become the loudest voice in the room. Whether it's office gossip, misinformation on social media, or a false accusation whispered behind someone's back, your silence is giving that deception permission to grow. A Stoic does not indulge in drama, but a Stoic also never allows truth to die quietly. Because the consequence of silence here is blindness. You blind yourself, and everyone around you, to the world as it truly is. Truth needs a defender. And if not you, then who? Speak up. Calmly, factually, directly. Truth doesn't need aggression. It needs courage. A Stoic speaks only when his words improve the silence. But when silence feeds the lie, speaking becomes a duty to reason and to reality itself. Situation 4. When you are taken for granted in relationships. In relationships, at work, or even in friendship, when your effort and your generosity are consistently ignored, and you say nothing, resentment begins to grow silently inside your chest. Yes, Stoicism teaches you not to crave external validation, but it never asks you to endure disrespect. That distinction matters. If someone assumes you will always be available, always giving, always silent, then it's time to speak. Because you are being treated like an endless resource. The consequence of silence in this situation is a lack of self-awareness. Your silence teaches others that your time and energy hold no value. You're training them on exactly how to mistreat you. A Stoic's voice must be calm, but firm. I respect what I offer, and I expect to be treated with equal respect. Speaking up is not arrogance. It is awareness. You teach the world how to treat you. We're halfway through. 4 out of 7 moments. Do you see it yet? Silence is not Stoic detachment. Silence is self-betrayal. You're compromising your character, your peace, all to avoid a 5-minute difficult conversation. This is the difference between a philosopher and a coward. The Stoic philosopher knows that external discomfort is a small price to protect inner tranquility. The coward chooses temporary comfort and pays with the lifelong torment of a wounded conscience. Get ready. The final 3 situations are the greatest tests of all. Situation 5. When your values are threatened. There will be moments when you are pressured to do something that violates your moral compass. Maybe at work, in a social situation, or even within your own family. This is where Stoicism separates the wise from the weak. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." But what happens if you stay completely silent? You allow corruption to guide your actions. You place a veil over your core values. Stoicism is built on virtue, the highest good, and the consequence of silence in this moment is surrender. When your integrity is on the line, silence is total surrender. You can rebuild a damaged reputation, but you can never rebuild a character that has been broken from within. So speak up, even if it costs you someone's approval, even if it costs you money, even if it costs you comfort. Say it clearly. I can't do that. It goes against my principles. Virtue before validation. That is the unbreakable rule. Situation 6. When fear keeps you silent. Fear loves silence. It feeds on it. It grows inside it. When you're too afraid to ask for help, too afraid to express your feelings, too afraid to stand up for yourself, silence becomes your prison. We fear the consequences of speaking. We fear rejection, judgment, disappointment. Epictetus said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And when you stay silent out of fear, you hand that fear absolute power. It becomes your jailer. The consequence of silence in this moment is paralysis. You get stuck. You cannot move forward. A Stoic understands that fear exists only in our judgment, not in the situation itself. The Stoic action: break the silence with honesty. Ask for what you need. Speak your truth. The moment you use your voice, fear begins to shrink. Stoicism is not the absence of emotion. It is fearlessness through reason. Silence must serve peace, not panic. 6 moments are behind you now. You have faced injustice, boundaries, falsehood, disrespect, threatened values, and fear. Look in the mirror. You are not the passive, conflict-avoiding version of yourself you once were. You are becoming stoic, someone who understands that peace is not the absence of war, but the victory in the war within. But there is one final situation, a moment where silence is not cowardice, but selfishness. Situation 7. When your voice can inspire others. A Stoic understands that wisdom is not meant to be stored away. It is meant to be shared. If your experiences, your struggles, your perspective can help someone rise, can help someone see the light again, then staying silent is selfish. There are people who need your story. They need your lessons. They need proof that strength is possible. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations to become famous. He wrote it to remind himself, and to remind us how to live with purpose. When you hide your light, you strip yourself of the chance to help someone else. You make the world just a little darker. So speak, not from ego, but from empathy. A Stoic's voice must be steady, grounded, meaningful, not loud, but clear. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more truth. Conclusion. In all of these moments, silence becomes a betrayal of the rational, disciplined self within you. Stoicism is not about keeping your mouth shut. It is about opening your mouth with wisdom. Remember this: silence is powerful only when it protects your inner peace. But it becomes dangerous when it protects what is wrong. A Stoic lives by the idea that courage is the highest form of wisdom. And sometimes, courage is nothing more than speaking the truth, even when your voice trembles. Never mistake peace for passivity. Never mistake calmness for cowardice. And never allow fear to suffocate your principles. You don't need to shout. You simply need to stand firm. Speak, not to win, but to be right. Speak, not to impress, but to express what is good. Because in the end, the world may forget your silence, but it will never forget the moment your voice rose to defend the truth. So, the next time life tests your courage, remember this: silence is golden only when the truth has already been spoken through your actions. But when silence hides injustice, disrespect, or fear, that silence turns to rust. This is Stoicism in motion. This is strength in its purest form. If this message hit you, stay on this path with me. More Stoic lessons are coming. Stand tall. Step into your next chapter. Before you go, comment, "I choose courage." And if you're ready to grow stronger every week, stay, subscribe, and keep rising. Thank you for watching.